Hey, folks, I was just dancing around auditioning here for I don't know what, but welcome, everyone. Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear us. Adam hasn't unmuted his mic yet, but hello, Adam, my co-host.
I'm here. I'm so happy to be here.
Excellent. You're all gussied up, Adam.
You and me both.
All good, so they can see and hear us. Adam, before we dive in, and I'm loving the chat. If you're not into the chat yet, folks, please get in there. Let us all know that everything's good. Where are you logging in from? City, place, etc. And a couple of you are still using hosts and panelists. You want to switch to everyone so we can all see your lovely comments. So, Adam, before we get going, tell us a little bit about you. This is our first time meeting, so I'm curious as to who you are and what you do at the winery.
Yeah, I'm currently the retail and hospitality manager here at Creekside, part of the overall Diamond Group. I've been here for about 7 years, which is crazy for me to think about. Long time in the wine industry, especially in Ontario. Didn't originally come in thinking I was going to be in the wine industry. I started in fragrance, actually. Way back, I worked in perfume, Montreal, Ottawa, decided fragrance wasn't really for me, and then switched over into wine.
Well, smell is just as important here, so you already have a nose for it, obviously. Anyway, so you came over to the wine side of things. So 7 years, wow.
Yeah.
What do you like best about working at the winery?
Oh, the people. It's all about the people, right?
Yeah.
And creating memories.
Yeah.
There's something so special about just sharing a glass of wine, whether you're, sitting on your patio, having a movie night, sharing food with people, watching a movie, like anything like that. It's all about the people. So I love the people we get to interact with. I love that we get to do these virtual events where we get to see people from all over. And I see that we have people from all over. All over,
for sure. All right. Well, we're going to dive in, Adam, and I'm going to be coming back. You are the movie expert, and we're all gearing up. Tell us in the chat, who is watching the Oscars tonight? As opposed to just watching the highlights tomorrow. I'm going to switch to sharing my screen here and we will get going. Folks, if you have the wines with you tonight, be sure to open your bubbly or keep it cold. We don't want to have a little Indy 500 thing going on with the wine going everywhere. All right, I am going to switch up here and let me know in the chat if you can see that, the slides. All right, so I'm going to progress as though you can. All right. So yes, do feel free to start sipping. You don't have to stay on agenda with the cool. Oh, so Guillen is already multicasting us with the Oscar pre-carpet. So we've got some competition here, Adam. We can do it. I can't wait to see what they're wearing. But you know what I think a better question is not who are you wearing, but who are you drinking? We've got the party tonight. All right. So as I said, jump in the chat, find it, the little chat bubble, and let us know what's going on. Okay. Do you have a question? Use the other little icon, the Q&A, because that's how we can keep track of it. Sometimes the chat gets going so quickly we can't keep track of anything. So here we go. Post on social. Give other people FOMO, fear of missing out. Let them know that we are here and we are having fun. Tag us on these are the Instagram handles. They're pretty much the same across all social media channels. Let's see what other little housekeeping things. These are our featured wines. So we're going to go with these one at a time, obviously, tonight. But here's your overview. Fantastic wines. And just so you know, if the wines happened not to arrive in time, because someone left it to the last minute, just kidding. And if you love them tonight, whatever camp you're in, you can order more. And so I think it's Bray or Jennifer is going to post in the chat the link to where you can still buy these wines. Just fabulous wines. And there's the link right there. Boy, are they quick. Okay. We are also going to do award-winning or award-worthy pairings, especially for watching movie night. And we've got Chef Joss with us back by popular demand from the last session we did. He's got some decadent recipes for you. All right. As always, we are going to do a poll. All right, so I would like to know, get your votes in here, who hosted or co-hosted the Academy Awards 8 18 times during his career. And I think Jennifer, other Jennifer, is bringing that up. Here we go. It's up. So get your votes in. It says hosts and panelists cannot vote, so we can't rig this vote, Adam.
I was literally trying to.
There might be a whole scandal about the voting was rigged. So we'll just give that another 5-10 seconds, let you lean in and pick to see who it was. And the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. All right, you got to be quick on these polls. So your votes were Bob Hope was your number 1 choice, Billy Crystal number 2, Johnny Carson number 3, and Chris Rock number 4. So here we go. Let's see who it actually was. Bob Hope. Ooh, all right. I guess they like to mix it up now. Probably back in the day, they just stuck with what worked. And anyway, I do wonder what's going to happen tonight. Like, I'm expecting the host to come out in full armor, but maybe not. All right, moving right along. Let's just click on this next thing. My little mouse. Don't give me trouble, little mouse. Okay. Yes, that's me. And I'm here to help you have fun tonight. I host a podcast, Unreserved Wine Talk. I'm about to publish my 3rd book, Wine Witch on Fire. Don't worry, it has a happy ending, rising from the ashes of divorce, defamation, and drinking too much. There we go. Let's just keep going with that. And our hosts, Adam has already introduced himself. When we bring Josh on, he'll introduce himself too. Some of you will know him from our last session. And we are starting with fresh, the fresh wines. Beautiful, beautiful, sparkling bubbly. Let me know in the chat. Do you have this one? And we want to hear from you. What do you think of it? So the Shiny Apple Cidery. Adam, can you tell us a few details about this, the winery and the cidery? They're co-housed, correct?
They are, yeah. They're the newest addition to the Diamond portfolio.
Okay.
Kind of Ontario's most Instagrammable property, Ontario's most colorful property, as you can see.
Yeah.
Everything about this property is really designed to be fun. It's designed to be fresh. It's wines that you just want to open up and enjoy. I don't want to say they're not complex, but they're definitely easygoing. They're, everyday wines, everyday ciders coming out of this property, all made, again, from 100% Ontario fruits. So you are getting, quality product, 100% VQA coming from there. Excellent.
Wow. And Dan, Evelyn, and Heather say very, very nice and smooth. Excellent. And I love the bubbly, like it's not your aggressive bubbles, just a nice celebratory bubbles. And what a good way to kick off Oscars night with a bubbly and a rosé
bubble. Bubbles, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is. Elaine says she opened it, the bubbly with dinner, roast pork loin on a smoker, and it went well. Oh my gosh, that sounds beautiful.
We're going to Europe next time, right?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's so I can see the Instagrammable stuff. All right, here are the details on the wine. And folks, you always get the slides after this, so you don't have to scramble to make notes, and you'll get the presentation, the video recording. So all of this will be in there, but for those of you who are curious what you're drinking right now, Charmat method, 70% Riesling, 30% Gamay. Wow, that's why this is so aromatic. It's such a pretty spring wine, and spring is coming. So let me just see if I get to the recipe, because I'm anxious to bring Josh on here too. So summer fresh, yeah, fresh berries, cherries, raspberry. You want to serve it chilled, of course, in a flute or my preference, a white wine glass so I can swirl it. Here's our recipe. All right. I think we should bring Josh on and let's talk about this 4-cheese macaroni. I'm going to stop sharing so that we can see more of Josh. There he is. Oh, look, the bow tie, Mr. Chef. Oh my gosh.
Oh, hello. How is everybody?
You look great, Josh.
I thought I was dressed for the Oscars.
Yes, of course, with your apron, fancy apron. You got out the
with the apron too. I can't remember away.
Oh, the recipes tonight are so good, Josh. But before we dive into them, for those who weren't here last time, tell us who you are and what you do at the winery.
So I'm the head chef for Creekside Estate Winery. We're actually on the process of opening Queenston Mile as well. So we're going to kind of co-hosting there as well. So a big food program going around here, and yeah, I just love to cook. I just love to pair with the wine as well.
Oh, you're in your happy place there in the kitchen.
Oh, this is my happy place.
Absolutely. So tell us about this first recipe, the 4-cheese macaroni. 1 cheese will not do, Josh. So tell us about it.
1 cheese never does. So just a little mixture of all 4. It goes beautiful with that sparkling rosé, especially having something nice, creamy, kind of fatty, and with it as well. Kind of cut through that the bubbles and the acidity with it. So yeah. I'm very excited for that.
Absolutely. Do you have it there with you?
I do not have the mac and
that's
cheese
okay.
with me today.
We got a gorgeous picture on the recipe there. And so Merle is saying, love that fresh taste. And did anyone in the chat, did you try the recipe yet? There's always time, of course, if you didn't get to it yet. These are great recipes to hold on to.
I noticed somebody said something about a roasted pork loin, even on the smoker as well. That also perfect with the rosé.
Isn't that a brilliant pairing? Elaine, well done. Oh, Charlotte made the mac and cheese, or maybe she made all of them. So Charlotte, let us know, what do you think? What do you think of the recipe, the dish? And how about she says, they made them all. Yeah. That's dedication, Charlotte.
Thank you so much.
You get a prize of some sort, I'm sure, but we'd love to hear from you, Charlotte, as to what you thought about the recipe. All right. Oh, Merle made all the recipes yesterday. Easy to make, tastes great. That's what we want.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Good. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to go back to my slides. Here we go. So, and again, you will have the link to these recipes. I don't know if they're posted online yet. You would have got them through your confirmation as well. But if there's a link to the recipes, maybe we can post that in the chat. If not, you'll get it in the follow-up. All right, let us keep going. Josh, we're going to come back to you on the next recipe. We will keep going here. Let me see. Here we go. Oh, we're into another poll. All of these stars produced iconic Oscars fashion, even if they didn't win an award. Which red carpet icon has not won an Oscar? Okay, how do you say Bjork? I should know this. It's not Bjork, I'm sure, right? Bjork? Okay,
right.
Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, Diane Keaton, or Cher. And you know what? I should say, Adam came up with all of these trivia questions. I've just motored through them as if I did this. He did it. So
this was the first one that came to mind. I had to find a way to include both Bjork's swan dress and Cher dressed as she does as iconic pieces of Oscar history.
I love that. And you've got the whole black and white theme going here, and they just look like they're diametrically opposed, the outfits. Like super, really well done, Adam. Or sorry, yes. I was gonna call you Bjork, but that would be odd.
Everyone does. You're good.
You get called Bjork a lot. Okay. All right, 5 seconds in to the poll, and then we'll close it and we'll see. Now, Adam, when Jennifer posts the results, can you see them as well?
I can, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so this is your quiz. So I would like you to announce who the top results are and then the actual winner. Let's see. There we go. So can you see that, Adam?
And yes, most people think Bjork with 54%. Lady Gaga coming in tied with Diane Keaton at second, and Cher right down there at the end.
For sure.
With only 8% of the vote. And the winner is.
Oh, yes, right. Click the slide, Nat. Click the slide. Oh, look, Bjork.
Yes.
Okay.
Bjork for sure. Was nominated 2001 for Dancer in the Dark, the song category, but did not win.
So movie trivia, is it like a real passion for you, Adam? Like the movies? Like, are you a film buff?
I wouldn't say I'm a film buff, but I'm competitive.
I like your spirit. Okay. I should mention that all the songs that you heard at the beginning when we were just waiting, getting warmed up here, they were all Oscar winners for Best Song of the Year that year. All right. Yeah, I love the dress too, Jennifer. Okay. Wish I had a little fluffy swan dress like that. All righty. So Adam, tell us about Queenston Mile Vineyard. It's such a beautiful little boutique winery, but you tell us some more.
Yeah, well, where Shiny was the newest member of the Diamond family, Queenston would be our newest project. Has been around for about 6 years now. Located right down in the St. David's Bench in that really premium growing area.
Yeah.
And the idea behind Queenston was really to focus on what Niagara does best. So things like Chardonnay, things like Pinot Noir, and definitely the sparkling wine. Winemaker Rob Power has been both with Creekside and now at Queenston for 25 plus years. So he's been in the industry for a very long time, working all from this very premium vineyard site. So he knows this fruit. He knows how to produce a beautiful, beautiful wine year after year. I believe we have the 2020 Chardonnay.
Okay, yeah.
Spoiler alert, coming forward.
There we go. Yes. Keep going with the slide. Fall behind. Okay, there it is. The Chardonnay. We want to hear from you in the chat too. So tell us a little bit about this Chardonnay, Adam.
So 2020, great growing season in Ontario, super hot vintage. You're getting a lot of ripeness coming through. You're definitely going to get a lot of that bright, pineapple, yellow apple. And this Chardonnay does undergo malolactic fermentation. That kind of mystical wine process that gives wine its creaminess, that kind of butterscotch flavor, the caramel, maybe even little notes of toasted coconut coming through.
Wow. I can tell you talk about these wines for a living.
I've been known to enjoy a glass every now and then.
Absolutely. And you've got a big glass too. I switched from this one to the big, what I call the big ass glass. You can bleep me out if you want, but I just find this buttery Chardonnay has just so much aroma. Like I really want it in my big glass. So beautiful. In the chat, beautiful Chardonnay. Great year for grapes. Absolutely. So if you've got this Chardonnay, let us know in the chat what you think. Oh my God, the apple, the pineapple, so lovely. All right, we're going to bring Josh back. Pardon me, go ahead.
Little touch of that smoky note, which I poured my Chardonnay before we started, and I always find that Chardonnay drinks better after it has a chance to warm up.
Right.
A little bit from the fridge. So just, get it to that temperature. If you're pouring it out right from the fridge, warm it up in your hands. And I think you'll get a little bit more complexity coming through in that wine.
Absolutely. It opens up like that party guest who's a bit shy at the beginning, not getting much out. No, not that you're not getting much out of it. I do find a dramatic difference. I tasted this fresh out of my wine fridge and was like, okay, it's good. It's fresh. Now it's just rounded out and got all buttery, luscious. Lovely. All right. We're going to talk about truffle butter popcorn. Oh my goodness. Josh, what did you do? What is this?
So with the Chardonnay, it is that nice vanilla buttery notes to it, which I adore. So what can you do to increase butter notes? More butter.
More butter.
So
Life's
nice
better with more butter.
Popcorn, that truffle, just the aroma just takes over the whole entire room. And that Parmesan just gives a little bit of saltiness it needs as well. It makes it fun. Looks more fun, a little more elegant as well.
Wow. And how long did it take to make the butter popcorn? Because I'm not a cook, my partner is, but you obviously pop the popcorn and then see how basic I am when it comes to cooking. And then do you just put on the butter and the truffle? Like, is it really fast to make this?
It's a 5-minute thing. We do popcorn straight from the kernels ourselves here. We take it and we just shake it on the high heat, and then just add the aromas after. You can make it whatever you like.
Oh, I've been to a couple restaurants where they serve butter truffle popcorn as the sort of the munchie, the appetizer, not the appetizer, but what while you wait instead of bread. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's just addictive. Like I'm eating it like I need intervention or something.
Popcorn with wine. It's just a perfect pairing together.
Exactly. It's like the Oscars. It's like that sort of shabby chic, like rhinestones on jeans or whatever. Like, you can dress it up, dress it down, red carpet, just cash. So this is so good. And
I'm missing my rhinestones today, unfortunately.
No, you're doing fine. All right. Well,
great
let's
question
keep going.
Someone was asking about the difference from this Chardonnay, how the Chardonnay differs from other wineries in the area. They're loving the smokiness of it. They're loving that kind of texture coming through.
Yes.
I would say the major difference is going to be in that winemaking style. We're doing a very, very small lot batch of this. So it's getting a lot of attention from the winemakers, using a lot of really premium both new oak and neutral French. New oak is going to add a bit more of that smokiness, especially when it's new French oak, which will add a bit more of that kind of vanilla note coming through. Neutral French going to be a bit more mild. And we're picking from the St. David's bench. So that's a small little sub-appellation within Niagara. With that sub-appellation, it's the warmest in Ontario on average. So you are getting a lot more ripeness. 2020, already a ripe year. And then when you get that extra heat throughout the vineyard season, throughout the harvest season in September and October, you're going to get a lot more of that beautiful, again, ripeness, just that fullness of expression in the wine.
That is a great description. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And I'll drag it back to fashion. It's like the hand-stitched couture versus the machine, let's run it through and mass produce. It's that attention to detail, every little step of the way that makes a difference in what you get in your glass finally. So cool. Okay, Josh, we're going to stand by. We'll bring you back for the next recipe and we'll move on to our next wine. Trying to transition here to the next slide.
I think we may have a nice little question before we go into the next wine. Do you want me to take?
Yes,
Natalie,
please. Bring it on. Yeah, go ahead.
When I was doing research for this, I thought this was so interesting. Just how much they drink at the Oscars. You know, we're celebrating tonight. This is award season. I can only find information with the 2017, but there's nothing like an award show to get people in the celebratory mood. At the 2017 Oscars, how many bottles of the Piper Heidsieck champagne were consumed by attendees?
Well. Okay, look at the choices. Do we know how many attendees there were? Like if there were 3, they were sozzled.
They were having a real good time that night.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, it is. It's interesting. So probably a lot of champagne flowed. So lean in, folks, and give it your best guess here as to how much champagne. I'm curious. I wonder how many people. I guess it's probably different every year, and I don't know if it's grown or
kind
shrunk.
of average between 600 and 800.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just top of my head.
Just the top of your head. You know, you look like a film critic. You look good, and you look like a film critic. I would believe anything you'd say about film. All right, 5 seconds left. Okay, gone. All right, what were the results, Adam?
So most people thought about 1,400, about 43% of the vote, followed by 2,100 bottles. 800 was in third place, and no one really thought 560, and that's probably a good guess. The lowest number is never right.
Everyone knows Hollywood. Yeah, there's just no way. Okay, let's see. Oh, 1,400. Wow, they showed a little bit of restraint, but cool. Well, that is interesting. I love trivia. Oh, look at that. I love this picture of Creekside. Tell us about Creekside, Adam.
So this is my home winery. That's where I'm at right now. Sitting in the old Creekside tasting room. So Creekside started in 1997, been around for about 25 years, a little over 25 years. And, you know, we've been kind of doing our own original things since the beginning. I already kind of touched on winemaker Rod Power, assistant winemaker Yvonne Irvin. Creekside, really well known for those atypical varietals in Ontario, Sauvignon Blanc and Syrah. So we've got our beautiful Syrah here with us tonight.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Let's.
If you haven't poured, I would recommend pouring. Let that open up. Also from that beautiful 2020
look
vintage.
At that. The barrel room and tractors. Here we go. Here's the Syrah. Again, let us know in the chat if you have the Syrah. And again, there's links in the chat if you want to buy individual bottles or if you want to buy the whole set and then watch this video on the replay or date night or with friends or whatever you want to do. But I've been a fan of this Syrah for a long time, and I just find it amazing, like the amount of the sheer sort of volume of flavor, and yet it's relatively low alcohol, especially for a Syrah. Yeah.
And you get that in that cooler climate, right? Where you get a lot of intensity, especially when you're cropping our fruit, which we tend to do to try to produce a more intense flavor. But without that intense heat to bring the sugars all the way up, we have a more balanced alcohol ratio, let's say hovering around that 12-13%.
Yes, absolutely. Michelle says, I love Iconoclast Syrah, very smooth and excellent. Yeah, such a beautiful, smooth wine. And then Elaine was just commenting back on the popcorn, a new favorite. She loved it. Guillen says, I agree that the Chardonnay is best after 15 minutes in my glass. Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And if
Absolutely.
you are kind of tasting as you're going through, feel free to leave that Chardonnay out and then revisit it at the end of the tasting experience. I guarantee it'll open up even more and become even more expressive as it sits there.
That's a
And kind
great
of-
idea. Yeah. And even though it will lose temperature, but as we know, as the temperature, as it warms up, it's going to bring the aromatics out. So it doesn't have to be chill to enjoy it.
I guess going back as well. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
Just
go
about that
for it.
Chardonnay, I always like to throw out. A lot of people don't immediately think about aging Ontario whites, and this Chardonnay is a beautiful candidate for aging. If you wanted to put it down, 5-10 years, it'll lose a little bit of that fruit characteristically, but you will get a lot more of that kind of toasty almond quality, that kind of marzipan quality. So if you're looking to experiment with aging Ontario whites, Chardonnay from Queenston, especially from that 2020 vintage, is a great option for you.
That's great. Yeah, yeah. I love that toasty almond that comes out. Marzipan, brioche. Those are all such heartwarming kind of aromas. And Scott and Anne Marie say, will Creekside hold another fondue event? We were there in 2019. So Bray or Jen can probably answer that in the chat. That sounds like a lot of fun. So let's talk a little bit more about this Syrah. We've got some dark fruit going on. You've given us a good overview of it, Adam. There's some spice at the back and a nice long finish. Anything more to add on this before we bring Josh back?
Particularly with the Syrah, we always we age a lot of our Iconoclast Syrah, our broken, unbroken, our more premium Syrahs in both French and Hungarian oak. The really nice thing about that French oak, like I touched on, you get that vanilla, you get that touch of toastiness. The thing I always find about European oak, Eastern European oak, like Hungarian, is that it amplifies those kind of Christmas baking spice qualities. So you get that little touch of cinnamon or that little touch of nutmeg coming through. And because Syrah does have that natural spiciness to it, it kind of amplifies that last little touch of spiciness in the wine.
Oh, wow. I love the way you describe the wines, Adam. Bacon spice. Oh my goodness. Let's bring back Josh because we're going to talk about sausage and fennel pizza. Oh, that sounds great too. My goodness. I'm going to ask him when he gets here why he thought this would pair with the Syrah. There you are, Josh. Hey.
Hello.
So tell us about this recipe.
So I'm happy to announce that this recipe here is almost a family favorite right now, making the cast iron style pizza. So I just love the spiciness from the Syrah, that boldness. Yep. Even this one you hear almost has that kind of a fennel kind of aftertaste as well with that long lasting finish. So of course, why not keep on enhancing the finish with the fennel? The nice smokiness, the spice with the sausage in there with the fennel seeds, like just enhance everything. So
yeah, what a nice
pizza, what a family favorite.
And you do it in a skillet. Why is that? That's intriguing.
So the skillet, it gives a nice crust on the bottom, a nice crust on the side. It just kind of makes the pizza kind of taste almost a little more on the bolder side, just one step away from even like the wood stove oven style. But nice, clean, crisp on the bottom.
Cool. Well, who doesn't love pizza? I mean, my goodness. And it doesn't look like it's too difficult. I can get my partner to make that, I think. What else do you think this Syrah would pair with? This is a great pairing. What else would you put with this Syrah?
Honestly, like red meats, anything, something super fatty as well. Yep. With this like kind of spice and darkness you get with the Syrah, I'd even want to go something kind of gamey. Oh. You even go down the bison route, the lamb route as well. Just kind of hit that gamey food.
That's great. Yeah, that wild, feral, underbrush growling kind of food. Yeah,
exactly.
I love it. Okay, cool. Thanks, Josh. We'll bring you back another time before we're wrapping up with Q&A.
No worries.
All right, cool. Here we go back. And let's continue on. Another poll. I love this. Okay, cool. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah. What was the first film at the Academy Awards to win the big 4 awards for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and I guess Best Screenplay, the big 5 awards.
Wow.
It's a rare feat. I think it's only been done 4 times in
Really?
show history to win the big 5.
Yeah, it's interesting that a lot of these are older movies, but so perhaps, yeah, but these are classics. These truly are classics. So lean in, folks, and let us know which one do you think it is. 5 seconds left. Bray loves all of these films. Yes, Bray, you must be a movie buff as well. Scott and Anne-Marie are signed up for the Savvy Fondue Night and looking forward to it. Cool. Yes, there's lots of events. Oh, Bray, we should share the link for our next online tasting May 4th while we're thinking about other events coming up. That's all right, Juan. Haven't seen the movies, but that's okay. Or only seen one of them. No worries. Okay, there's always time to catch up with that. So Adam, what do people think in terms of who won all the big awards?
2/3 of our guests went with Gone with the Wind, true American classic there.
Yes.
Followed by Silence of the Lambs, which is the most recent of the films on the list, I believe. What Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 3rd, and only one out of our guests said It Happened One Night.
All right, here we go. Oh, that's the answer. Tricky, very tricky, Adam, very tricky. It Happened One Night. Do you happen to know was that in the 40s or it looks
30s in all honesty?
The 30s. Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Clark Gable and somebody, Charlotte.
Claudette Colbert.
Oh, there you go. Find it hard to read backwards, right? Anyway, you were giving it away by having a reverse image. Okay, so that's cool. We'll have to go back and watch the classics. Yeah, great movie, says Michelle. Okay, cool. All righty. Let us talk about Lakeview Wine Company. Adam?
Yeah, Lakeview Wine Co, located right down in Niagara Lake, right along that main strip. And Lakeview is really the bread and butter of what Diamond Estates is. It produces some of the most well-known brands you're going to see both in Ontario, across Canada, and even internationally at some point. So brands like 20 Bees, brands like Lakeview Wine Co has its own thing, Eastel. Lakeview's been a bit of a pillar in the industry for the past 20 years or so. The tasting facility is brand new, led by winemaker Scott McGregor. You're going to see some really, really beautiful product, both small lot and some of those old favorites that you're, familiar with, those tried and true classics, if you will.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that building. And look at it on the inside. That is just gorgeous. I mean, look at the light and the airiness of it. I have to say that Bill and Therese said, not bragging, but great guess. They are the ones who guessed right on the last movie that won all the awards. Congratulations, Bill and Therese. All right, so let's talk about the Lakeview Cellars Cabernet Sauvignon Icewine. Now, Adam, I always think Icewine gets short shrift because by the end of the meal, we're full and I don't know, we don't get to it, but it's such a treat. Every time I taste Icewine, I think, why don't I save some room or think about it earlier in the meal? This is a lovely one with its jeweled ruby. It's a red based, obviously, Icewine. So tell us about this one.
Yeah, I find in this ice wine, and Lakeview Cellars really known for making really beautiful ice wines in a range of styles. But this particular ice wine has this beautiful, bright raspberry note to it. It's very fresh, and even though it has that touch of sweetness, that that kind of syrupy quality that you expect from ice wine, there is still a really beautiful balance of acidity there that makes you want to continue to go back for a second sip. And I know a lot of people do kind of discredit ice wine as something that they don't immediately gravitate towards. But there's so many fun ways to play around with it, especially when you think of it as a food pairing wine or as a cocktail ingredient. So think of anything that has a lot of intensity, like those super spicy dishes, intense blue cheeses like Stilton. I love pairing ice wine with Szechuan food, particularly.
Ooh,
you get that oily spice coming through, and it just balances out with the sweetness so well.
Absolutely. I always say sweet meets heat. You need something sweet to take down the temperature. And the foods we love tend to be very mean to many wines, but ice wine, because it's sweet, but also low in alcohol, which people don't often realize. They think port, 20%. This is only 11% alcohol. So it's fresh, it's sweet, it's like summer berries in a glass, and it can stand up to those really, really spicy hot dishes.
Mm.
Yeah, I love it. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. So ripe. Feel like I'm running through a field of strawberries or something. Oh, now what did he do? Oh, the Icewine martini. Someone was mentioning earlier that they had tried this and loved the Icewine martini. So let's bring Josh back. I'm going to stop sharing. And oh, Elaine Peters is pairing this with foie gras or peppercorn pate. Oh my goodness, divine. Hey Josh.
Natalie,
So
just before we go into Josh, we have a question. Should Icewine be allowed to breathe before consuming?
Should it what? Sorry?
Should you let your ice wine breathe before you drink it? Should you air it out in the glass? Should you let it oxygenate? Yeah.
Yeah. Are you asking me?
I'll ask you. I'll pose that question over to you.
I didn't know, because you're so expert on all of these wines. I mean, I like my ice wine chilled, but not numb, right? You want to numb bad wines so that you don't taste them. But for these, you actually want to warm them up, maybe past the point of usual temperatures, because they've got so much to offer. So yeah, I might bring it out of, if I had it in the fridge, let it warm up and let it open up. I think all wines benefit from opening up, but I would still like a little bit of chill on it for refreshment, because it does have that sweetness. How about you, Adam?
Sure. Yeah, I'd always like to let my ice wine open up. And I find, again, if you let this ice wine, if you're sipping on it right now, leave a little bit, let it sit for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And I find you'll get a lot more of that really beautiful florality coming through, that rose petal or those kind of notes of violets that might just kind of, lift it off your palate into your nose a little bit with that nice aromatic quality. Find some really beautiful complexity in your ice wine if you let it both warm up and open up in the glass a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's great. And we've got an ice wine martini. Josh, tell us about that.
Before I start on the ice wine martini, I just wanted to put in what you guys were talking about right there. It's really amazing how you can get two different kind of ways your wine can go, from being fresh to letting it sit. It just opens up all those floral. It's truly.
It can be two different wines, and depending on the style that you like, drink it on the colder side or on the warmer side. It's all about what pleases you most, but it really can change in the glass with time and temperature.
Exactly. And with this ice wine martini, what better way to start off the Oscars when they're about to start than sitting down on the couch with your nice martini in hand, ready to go.
Awesome. And I can't remember exactly who said they made the martini, but if you've got this ice wine, let us hear from you. Definitely a winner drinking this right now, says Elaine. Dorothy says ice wine with ice cream and fresh ground pepper. Wow.
Amazing.
Oh, Jess and friends. How the harvesting process looks like in the winter. I don't know if that's a question, but we can talk about the harvesting of ice wine, Adam. Like it's got to be -8, and they do it in the middle of winter and snow suits, or what else is happening? Why do they have to be?
We'll start out by saying the harvesting of ice wine, not fun to do for anyone.
Not fun. Just romantic pictures under the moonlight, but you're freezing your bees off. But why do they make it -8, that you have to harvest it at -8?
So you need to have ice wine be the grapes on the vine be completely frozen. All of the water freezes out of the grape, and you're just left with that kind of concentrated nectar of what's left. And that's how you get that really beautiful, intense flavor, that syrupy quality, the sugar content coming through in the wine. Traditionally, it is done by hand, and I would say 90% of the properties in the area still do it by hand, because of course farm equipment doesn't typically work very well in the winter. Farm equipment not designed to work in the winter.
Yeah, you gotta be delicate. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and the grapes after hanging, through the autumn season into the winter, they definitely need that gentle touch. There are some places playing around with using machine harvesting. It's still in its early phases, but definitely some of the larger properties are playing around with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Bray
Mhm.
has posted lots of good info. You actually wait till -10 because you're obviously masochists. It is so hard to, it is, we're going to get a more concentrated grape, but it's hard. Like you wait for this harvest till December, January, sometimes February. So by then, birds, deer, rabbits, everybody's trying to get at your grapes, and it's easy for them to fall off. They're desiccated, meaning dehydrated. That's what you get that's how you get the concentrated flavor. But the odds are so against you in terms of producing this little small nectar from these tiny concentrated grapes that have had to survive for so long. It's just beautiful.
Always like to say, like, in Ontario, we're spoiled with ice wine. It is such almost a regularity in our lives. We know we're able to produce it year after year. But the moment you leave this province, really, it becomes one of the rarest wines on earth. We are the only place that produces it pretty much every single year. There are some places in Europe, in Germany or Austria who will maybe do it once every so often when they get the weather, once every 5 years, 10 years. So this is a truly Ontario style of winemaking. And, you know, it's really nice to kind of celebrate that as something that is more or less unique to this region.
Absolutely. And, you know, Germany is the second largest ice wine producer. Every 3 out of 10 years, whatever, as you said, Adam, we are consistently cold, one of the blessings of our climate, and we can produce it. But, you know, these ice wines, when they go for sale around the world, are like double, triple, quadruple the price. They really are little gems that, you know, it's like you never visit the museums in your hometown unless you're guiding somebody from out of town. But like, we should take advantage of what's in our own backyard. Dorothy asks, will there be an ice wine harvest in Niagara this year? The weather has been so roller coaster. Does anybody know that? What's happening there?
There will be an ice wine harvest this year. It is not going to be a very large harvest across the region, both because of the weather and some other difficulties that we've had with some vine loss and, you know, with that beautiful weather in Ontario. But there will be a harvest. You will see some 2020, 2022 ice wines produced for sure.
Cool. And Jennifer says Creekside Deck will open up on the May long weekend. That's a great time to do it. Josh and his team are working toward a preview for our wine club members, and then a great season on the deck. That just sounds like a whole lot of fun.
We're very excited about it over here on our side.
Absolutely. And so, Josh, like, I love the ice wine martini. What else would you pair this with?
You know what? I was reading up in the comments there, and somebody paired foie gras with this ice wine.
Yeah.
It honestly, it just took the words right out of my mouth. The foie gras, the nice creaminess to it. I can't say anything better than that.
No, it's true. And, you know, again, we think about ice wine only at the end of the meal. Bring it forward to the beginning of the meal. Anything that you would pair a traditional Bordeaux Sauterne, the Noble Rot, whatever, you can substitute, I think, for ice wine, which is a lot fresher. Not to diss Sauternes, we're all good with them, but I just think you can pair foie gras or whatever, like whatever you might at the beginning of a meal, or cheese plate or whatever you like.
Definitely.
And Bray's got the link for the next event, which is on May 4th. It's a spring literary party. We're going to be kind of doing a book club thing. So please, while we're online, register now, save your spot. Then you don't have to remember to do it. All right. So let me go back to sharing my slides, and we might see where we land here. Oh, we're going to do one more poll. Oh, I love this. Looking at tonight's nominees, which of the Best Picture nominees are you rooting for to take home the Best Picture award? There's the poll. It's up. 5-10 seconds. You know, you have to lean in and get in there. Yeah,
I kind of wish we
choice.
could vote ourselves.
Pardon me?
I kind of wish we could vote ourselves.
I know, like, I find it, I want to get in there. Do you guys have a favorite? Like, I haven't watched all the films. I liked Elvis. You know, I didn't watch the other three. I've been meaning to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I love Cate Blanchett for Tar. And the Banshees of Inisherin, my grandmother was a brophy, so I got to get busy. But
You got a full week ahead of you, Natalie.
I know I got a lot ahead. But what do you got? Like Adam, do you have a favorite? Have you watched all of these?
I have. You know, it's
course.
been a big point of contention at Creekside. We've all been talking about it. There's been lots of competition amongst me and the staff about who we think is going to win all the categories and where we think things are going to go. I am still, a huge Michelle Yeoh fan. I'm a huge Lee Curtis fan. It's got to be everything everywhere at once.
Yeah.
I
think the overwhelming odds. Yeah. That's what the critics are saying too. Well, you are a critic though. We've elevated you. You dress like a critic. You are a critic, Adam. Do you have a favorite, Josh? I don't know if you've had a chance to see any of these or whatever, but
it's kind of funny that Adam brought it up because we're talking at the winery all today about it, but I could not stop talking about everything everywhere all at once.
Really?
That has to be my choice as well.
I've heard it's a mind bender. All right, let's show the results. And Adam, let us know who did what.
The overwhelming favorite actually Elvis. Yeah, Elvis of the group, followed everything everywhere all at once. He's a finisher in third, and Tar coming in with 1 out of 30. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I know I'm eagerly looking forward to the results this.
Yeah, well, there is no answer. I was looking for the answer. It's like we don't know yet. So there is no more slide to give us the answers. So you guys stay on here because I'm just going to run through a few more slides and then we're going to open it up to Q&A. Anything that we haven't answered. As I said, you're going to get the slides. You don't even have to email me. I will email you. You will get the video recording. There's a mobile app that can help you find wines, all of those that you've tasted tonight. Of course, Bray can post the link to the 4-pack. Post on social. Let people know that you enjoyed the tasting. Tag us so that we can reshare to our channels. You can get more followers. You know how that works. Watch the replay. Again, you can order the wines, make it a party. Doesn't have to be the Oscars. Make it date night, questions, etc. So let me get out of the slides. There we are. Here we are back. Now, so what does anybody know what time the Oscars officially start tonight? Don't want to overlap with them. There's lots of red carpet stuff. There's lots of talking and looking at who's wearing what and all that. And okay, so anyway, maybe someone in the chat knows.
I would probably assume 7:30 or 8 most likely. Yeah,
okay, it's coming in now. 8 p.m. People are saying 8 p.m. Okay, so we've warmed you up for the Oscars. Anyone, anywhere, all at once. Do you have any questions about the wines we tasted?
I've got a question in the chat from Bill and Therese. If you can answer. Ontario versus Australian Syrahs are very different. Why?
No, they're all the same. No, just kidding. Yeah, no, great question because so different regions tend to name their Syrahs, either Syrah or Shiraz, based on what they're paying a nod to. So you'll find Canadian Syrah, his name's Syrah, maybe some regions in California, Syrah, Australian Shiraz. I think they changed it originally because it was easy to pronounce and they like everything to be friendly and pronounceable. But I do think there's a stylistic difference. So Syrah, the home of benchmark Syrah is in the Rhone Valley of France. And so when winemakers name their wine Syrah, not Shiraz, they're usually nodding to France as the benchmark, meaning they're trying to achieve balance. They're not really totally fruit forward. There's still some fruit, but there might be a smoky quality, the kinds of things we talked about tonight about this Syrah. It's spicy, it's got some fennel. It's still got some nice, lovely dark fruit in it, but it's not like juicy plums like you might find in Australia. I find that's the primary difference. They are clonally the same grape, but when they're planted in different regions, they will develop differently. And then over time, as winemaking decisions have influence, it's like twins who are separated at birth. They're going to grow up in different households and have completely different expressions as an individual. Syrah and Shiraz will do that as well. So I personally love Syrah. That's my style, and I love it from Canada and from the Rhone Valley. But you need to fill your boots and go with the style that you love. Yes, and Elaine Peter says cool climate versus warm climate. That's another really good point, Elaine. Australia is not one monolith. They do have cool climate areas, but the Shiraz that they produce is generally in very warm climates, whereas Canada, of course, is cool climate. So you're going to get more restraint. You're going to get an edgy, nervy acidity that makes it bright and exciting. And that will have a big influence on it as well. Let me just look in the chat here to see. Gian says it's the champagne carpet right now. Interesting. They've got 1,400 glasses to go. Kevin McCarthy says another great evening. Looking forward to the menu pairings with the wines that I did not open. Angelette Bassett is apparently rocking it tonight. I wonder what she's wearing.
She always does.
She does. Who is she drinking, I wonder? Bray, Creekside also does a great job of making wines in an old world style. I agree, Bray. I just love the balance. And when I say restrained, I don't mean that there's lack of flavor. It's so balanced. Like you've got the fruit, you've got the tension, and I just think it really works. Elaine says, this is the other Elaine. We are really enjoying these classes. Look forward to the next one. Definitely letting our friends know how great the wines and menus have been. Perfect. Bien, merci à tous. Good evening. Wonderful, everybody. Register for the next event. Does anybody else have any questions? I haven't been even checking the Q&A section. I've been just looking at the chat. But if you have any other questions about the wines we tasted tonight, if you have any movie questions for Adam, cooking questions for Josh, we're here.
General questions about anything.
Yeah. Or let's just chat.
Life in general.
Yeah. Where'd you get that bow tie, Josh? I think I might tune in after all this Oscar talk. I'm one of those cheaters that just looks at the highlights the next morning and who wore what and who won what. But I'm kind of intrigued. I might actually, I don't know. I think the red carpet stuff is fun too. And I actually want to see how the host is going to handle some of the issues. They have a ready response team apparently this year. Oh.
Laugh heard around the world, right?
Yeah. Best Oscar look. What is the best Oscar look? Okay, so I'm not sure. What? Sorry?
Of all time or tonight? Or?
Yeah, sure. Adam, what do you think?
It's got to be the York swan dress. I mean, it's not actually.
Oh yeah, the swan dress. I want a swan dress.
Right?
Yes. I did also like the tuxes that the women were sporting, and I noticed they were all women.
Mm-hmm.
So
Diane Keaton always looks great on a red carpet. Always well dressed, always well tailored.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, it's always good. Well. I think if there are no more questions, I think everyone wants to get on to the Oscars. Merle says, did you know that the red carpet tonight at the Oscars has changed to a champagne color? Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I like to know these little tidbits. Do you know why, Merle? And why would they change it to red to champagne? Is that because of the champagne sponsor? A champagne color meaning light, like not red. Interesting. There's a Q&A question in Q&A for Josh. Is there a substitute for fennel, I guess, on the pizza, Josh?
That's actually a great question. Because a lot of people don't really like that black licorice kind of flavor from the fennel. Mm-hmm. I would even substitute for it maybe a roasted red pepper. Kind of keep that nice charcoal flavor to it, but nice bright from the pepper as well.
Cool. That's good. Good suggestion. Merle doesn't know why the red carpet changed to champagne. First time in 60 years. Not sure why. Maybe Jimmy Kimmel will tell us. Yeah, he should have been on with us during our
Next
tasting.
time.
I guess he was busy. Cool. I love that little trivia. I like knowing all these things. All right. Last chance. Please register for our next event. And there are other events going on at the different wineries, Creekside and Lakeview and all of the rest of it, Queenston. But we would love to see you here on May 4th. And do tell your friends, especially since you've enjoyed this and the recipes and the wines. I think they're amazing. Michelle says, thank you, Josh. Great suggestion for the substitution.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
So I need to know though, Adam and Josh, if you want to pick a best picture, who do you think is, well, okay. So you already voted for, yeah, I already said that. Okay. Let's pick another one. Best actress or best actor. Who do you think is going to win tonight?
Best actress is going to be Michelle Yeoh. I am firmly in standing that Michelle Yeoh is going to win.
Yes.
Best actor, Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
For Whale.
That's a
Okay.
great one.
Josh, do you have anything different or would you agree or?
How can you beat Brendan Fraser?
I know,
Especially
he's
in that
amazing.
role. It's probably, if not one of his biggest movies he's done. Like,
Yeah,
how can you beat that?
that is amazing. Is he Canadian? I think he's Canadian.
He is Canadian, actually. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool, Canada. I did like women talking, but that's just me. That's Sarah Pauly is also nominated tonight. Cool. So people
I'm
are
also
saying,
a Colin Farrell fan, by the way, as well.
oh, Colin Farrell. Cool, 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 cool. And we're getting some really nice comments in the chat. Let me just finish off with these. Lane Peters, this was lovely, everyone. May the 4th be with you. That's Star Wars. That's when we're having our next tasting on Thursday. Thanks to all, says Cheryl. Linda, thank you. This was very enjoyable. Bray, yes, Brendan Fraser. Bill and Therese, don't forget to plug your book before you leave. They're a plant. All right, get the memoir, people. Wine Witch on Fire. You can pre-order it now. Thank you, Bill and Therese. Your bottle's in the mail. Jen Havers, thank you, everyone. Great presentation. Enjoy the Oscars. Dawn, Evelyn, and Heather, love it. May the 4th, easy to remember. I heard they were using champagne color to hide the blood in case someone gets hit. Oh my goodness, that might just be a rumor. So on that dark note, I guess we'll wrap up, but I'm glad you all enjoyed this. I really enjoyed being here with you, Adam and Josh. This was a lot of fun. So I can't wait to, I hope, see you again on May 4th. Cheers. Let's do a cheers. Right?
Cheers.
There you go.
Happy Oscar night.
Yeah, happy Oscar night.
Enjoy,
Have fun,
everybody.
everybody. All right. Cheers. Bye for now.